Good morning, students. Let us start with today's class on the chapter Structure of Atom. So let us begin. Today we are going to discuss about discovery of proton, that is study of anode rays, its origin, its properties, and discovery of neutrons and properties of fundamental subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons, and neutrons. So let us begin. In the previous class, we have discussed up to cathode rays, how electrons being discovered. So let us start discovery of proton. Since we are knowing that the atom as a whole is electrically neutral and the presence of negatively charged particles in it was established. Therefore, it was thought that some positively charged particles must also be present in the atom. For this purpose, Goldstein, E. Goldstein, in 1886 performed discharge tube experiments. You can see over here in the diagram, again the same discharge tube E. Goldstein has taken and performed discharge tube experiments in which he took perforated cathode and a gas at low pressure was kept inside the tube as before. This apparatus setup was same as there for cathode rays. Here the only difference is that here perforated cathode is being taken, and in the for cathode rays perforated anode was taken. Now what we have to do, now we are knowing that the same process will occur on passing high voltage between the two electrodes. We can see over here anode and cathode. It was found that some rays were coming from the side of the anode which passed through the holes in the cathode and produce red fluorescence on the glass wall, and which is coated with phosphorescent material, that is zinc sulfide. These rays were called anode rays or canal rays. Why these rays are called canal rays? Because they pass through the perforated cathode, and those perforations in the cathode are in the form of canal shape. Or we can also call these rays as positive rays because they were found to carry positive charge. How they were found to carry positive charge? They have discovered by doing various experiments. Just after this we will discuss, and we are knowing that these rays are believed to be produced as a result of the knockout of the electrons from the gaseous atom by the bombardment of high speed electrons of the cathode rays on them. Thus anode rays are actually emitting from the anode. Now let us proceed about the properties of anode rays. So in the same manner we had already discussed the properties of cathode rays. Similarly, scientists had done various experiments to find out these properties of anode rays. Like the first property is like they travel in straight line. However, their speed is much less than that of cathode rays. Next one, they are made up of material particles. Next one, they are positively charged as indicated by the direction of deflection of these rays in the electric and magnetic fields. That is why they are called positive rays. They had done all these properties by using the same experimental methods as they had already described for cathode rays. Similar experiments they had done for finding out the properties of anode rays. Moving further, unlike the next property is, unlike cathode rays, the ratio charge by mass E by m is found to be different for the particles constituting anode rays when different gases are taken inside the discharge tube. Or in other words, what we can say that the value of E by m depends upon the nature of the gas taken inside the discharge tube. Next one, moving further, the value of the charge, that is E, on the particles constituting the anode rays is also found to depend upon the nature of the gas taken inside the discharge tube. However, the charge on these particles is found to be a whole number, multiple of the charge present on the electron. So in other words, similarly for this we can say that these positively charged particles may carry 1, 2 or 3 units of positive charge depending upon the numbers of electrons being knocked out. Okay, so the next one, the mass of the particles constituting the anode rays is also found to be different for different gases taken in the discharge tube. However, its value is found to be nearly equal to that of the atom of the gas. So this is about the properties of anode rays, and using the properties of anode rays, further experiments reveal that when hydrogen gas is taken inside the discharge tube, the particles present in the anode rays have minimum mass, because we are knowing that it is the lightest positively charged particles being produced with the help of, that is from hydrogen. So the charge on these particles is found to be same as that on the electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs, or 1 unit we can say. So the ratio charge by mass for each of these particles is found to be 9.58 into 10 to the power 4 coulombs per gram. This is calculated value. Hence, the mass of each of these particles will be, m will be equals to E divided by the ratio, E by m ratio, and that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by 9.58 into 10 to the power 4. After dividing it, we are getting the mass of these particles, that is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. This mass is nearly the same as that of hydrogen atom. So these particles were termed as protons. Hence we can define proton as that fundamental particle which carries 1 unit positive charge and has a mass nearly equal to that of hydrogen atom. So we can say that here, like in case of any other gas which can be taken inside the discharge tube, the mass of the positively charged particles was found to be nearly the whole number multiple of the mass of the proton. So hence it led to the belief that protons be only the fundamental particles present in all atoms, and that the atoms of gases other than hydrogen contain some whole number of protons. So now, after having established the presence of electrons and protons in the atom, the next problem before the scientists was to see how these particles were present within the atom. So for this they had given various model of atom, so that we will discuss later on. Before that, before the discovery of the next fundamental particles, means after the discovery of electrons and protons, it was well established that atom is divisible. Now we are knowing that atom is divisible and is made up of charged particles. This was further confirmed by the phenomenon of radioactivity discovered by Becquerel in 1896. So what is radioactivity? Radioactivity is the phenomenon of spontaneous emission of radiations by certain elements, certain radioactive elements like uranium, radium, polonium, etc. The elements emitting such radiations are called radioactive elements. You will see in the periodic table there are certain elements which are radioactive in nature like uranium, radium. And why these are called radioactive elements? Because these are always emitting radiations. So this phenomena is known as radioactivity. Now the phenomena can be observed by placing the radioactive element in a cavity made in a block of lead. You can see over here there is a block of lead, and inside it radioactive substances being kept. Why inside lead block is being taken and inside it radioactive substance is being kept? Because lead metal is the preferred material for radiation shielding. Means that lead is highly effective in providing protection from sources of radiation. Because of this, it is the standard used in the design of radiation protection system. And we are knowing that lead metal is dense. It can be used against various high energy applications of radiation, including gamma rays, X-rays, and other types of nuclear radiation. That's why here lead block is being taken and radioactive substance is being kept inside it as a, because it is shielding the radiations. Okay, so after that, cavity made in a block of lead and applying, now here we are applying electric or magnetic field on the radiations being emitted from that very radioactive substance, and then allowing them to fall on the photographic plate. So what we have observed, three types of radiations are being emitted. Like in first one, those which are deflected slightly towards the negative plate and hence carry positive charge are called alpha rays. You can see over here there are three types of deviations are there, and first, which is deflected towards negative plate, those are called alpha rays. The particles present in them are called alpha particles. Each alpha particle has a charge plus 2 units and mass 4 U unit. Hence, they are same as helium nuclei. We can say doubly charged helium nuclei are alpha particles. Now, second one, that is for those which are deflected towards the positive plate to a larger extent and hence carry negative charge are called beta rays. The particles present in them are called beta particles. Each beta particle has same charge and as that of electron. Now, for the rays which remain undeflected are called gamma rays. We can simply call these rays as electromagnetic radiations. So let us proceed further towards the discovery of neutron. Moseley in 1913 performed experiments, various experiments to determine the exact quantity of charge present on the nucleus. So the number of units of positive charge present on the nucleus was called the atomic number of element. This we will discuss later on. Since each unit of positive charge corresponds to one proton, therefore atomic number was equal to the number of protons present in the nucleus. Further, since each proton has 1 unit mass on the atomic mass scale, therefore the mass of the atom was calculated from the number of protons present in the nuclei. Now, we are knowing that for any element except hydrogen, this mass was found to be much less than the actual mass of the atom. So, this led to the idea that there must be some other particles present in the nucleus and that these particles should be neutral but should have a considerable mass. Chadwick, after Moseley in 1930, Moseley had done this much of thesis regarding the discovery of neutron. Later on, Chadwick in 1932 performed some scattering experiments. He had performed the scattering experiments after Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. That is, Rutherford had done in 1911. So after him, Chadwick in 1932 performed some scattering experiments in which he bombarded some light elements like beryllium and boron with fast moving alpha particles. You can see over here this being done by Chadwick in 1932. He performed scattering experiments and bombarded some light elements like beryllium, you can see over here, and alpha particle helium is there, and he bombarded both of them with fast moving alpha particles. Beryllium and boron both are being bombarded with fast moving alpha particle, that is helium. And then what they have got, he found that some new particles were emitted which carry no charge, that is were neutral but had a mass nearly equal to that of proton. This particle was termed neutron. You can see over here in the first one, alpha particle is being bombarded on beryllium, and after bombardment he has got neutron along with carbon. So some neutrons were emitted after bombardment of these two. Again in the second case, neutrons are being emitted, that is neutral particles are being emitted after bombardment of alpha particles on boron. So we can define a neutron may be defined as that fundamental particle which carries no charge but has a mass nearly equal to that of hydrogen atom or proton. So this is how neutron is being discovered after the Rutherford alpha scattering experiment being done, and through his experiments we are knowing that he had discovered about the existence of nucleus, that we will discuss later on. So this is how neutron is being discovered. So now we had discussed about the discovery of three fundamental particles, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. So these are some of the basic properties of those subatomic particles. Like for electron, symbol is we can write electron like E minus, and location you are knowing, that is it is revolving around the nucleus. Charge is -1 and its mass, relative masses are around 1 by 1840, that is approximately 0. Now actual mass is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 28 grams. And for proton we are knowing symbol P plus, and we are knowing the location of proton, nucleus, charge +1, relative mass is 1. Again the mass is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. We have calculated from the anode experiment, anode rays experiment. Now for the last is neutron, we can write as like N0, and location is nucleus. We are knowing that neutron is present in nucleus. Now charge is those are neutral particles and relative mass is 1, and we are knowing that it is around the same mass of that of proton, that is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. So till now we have discussed about electrons, protons and neutrons, their discoverers as well. We are knowing that electrons are being discovered by Sir J.J. Thomson. Eugene Goldstein had discovered the next fundamental particle, that is the protons, and neutrons were discovered by James Chadwick. So I hope you have understood till now the discoveries of the fundamental particles. So today we have discussed about discovery of protons and discovery of neutrons. Thank you